What's up, everyone? This is the Next Day podcast with Mikel, and
And Tanyka.
where we have conversations on different topics. So today is a extra bonus episode for this week,
Yep,
and
our first of the month.
yeah, that too. Uh, we apologize for the delay of episodes.
There
Uh,
shouldn't be a delay on episodes.
yeah, there shouldn't be.
There shouldn't be any delays. So
Okay.
more delays on us recording, but there shouldn't
Mm,
be any delays with episodes.
yeah, yeah, there should be any delays.
There are
So
delays with YouTube though. There are delays with the YouTube, but
yeah, yeah,
otherwise, yeah.
yeah. So let's get on to this episode. So what are we going to be talking about on today's episode, Tanika?
Well, we have a bunch of different topics.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna go through them.
Mm-hmm.
So the first topic that we're gonna be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those people who don't live in Ajax won't know exactly what we're talking about, but people
Mm-hmm.
who do or live, in the surrounding towns around or cities around Ajax will know a little bit about this. So Falby Court, Falby Court, um, that's just south of Harwood and Bailey,
Mm-hmm.
um, has been renamed. So the town of Ajax has temporarily changed the name of Falby Court to some 41 Way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And a nod to the popular band's final tour. Apparently, I guess is in Ajax. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Counselors and family members of the band recently met to commemorate the street sign while Sum 41 performed out of town on its tour of the setting Sum. Not Sun, Sum. The band, um, I did not know this. The
Mm-hmm.
band met as teenagers at Exeter High School, which was located on Falby Court. I did not know this, and is now Bolton C. Falby Public School. That's so cool. I didn't know this.
Oh,
They're like they met in Ajax. That's so cool.
yeah.
The Friends formed a rock band, then went on to find worldwide fame, releasing 8 studio albums, selling 15 million records with its hits such as Fat Lip, In Too
Mm-hmm.
Deep, and Dopamine, and winning 2 Juno Awards. Later this year, the band will be inducted into the Canadian Music Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
Sum 41 has a handful of shows left and will play 2 in Toronto. One actually, both of these actually have already happened. So one was on January 28th and the final one was on the 30th. So on January 31st, the town is hosting a special, what this also already happened, is hosting a special event with the band at the Ajax Community Center, which will include a Q&A and a photo opportunity. So hopefully anyone who's Sum 41 fans got to attend that. Um, the ticketed event open to Ajax residents only sold out quickly. So, like, I'm thinking of someone right now that I'm pretty sure I believe there's some 41 fans. They wouldn't have been able to go because they are not Ajax residents. So, it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically that. So it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of similar, I guess, to kind of what was going with Taylor Swift with Toronto, when she was here. So that's pretty cool.
Okay. That's pretty. Yeah, it is. I don't listen to that much like some 41, but
No, I don't either. I mean, I think
uh,
like I listened to like a song or two or whatever, like when I
yeah,
was a
yeah,
kid,
yeah.
but
Mm,
no, like I've never been like a huge Sum 41 fan. Um, been more into Linkin Park than Sum 41.
right.
But yeah, like that's still really cool. I find that like that stuff is really cool when someone is from Ajax. Like this is I think that's so cool because the
Mm,
only other person I know that's from Ajax is like Snow, and that's not cool for me.
Mm.
My mom knew him because he was
Mhm.
friends with my dad,
Yeah.
and my mom knew him, and she's like, he's an idiot. So I'm like,
Right, right.
great. And again, for those people who who don't know Snow, it's the guy who sings Informer. So yeah, like Informer. Yeah, he's not Jamaican, y'all. Okay, you know what? We're not even gonna get into it. You're not gonna get into it. But anyways,
That's cool.
yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, let's get on to the next topic.
Next topic. This one's
Yeah.
interesting. This
Hmm.
one's interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like the daughter of Doug Ford
Hmm.
launched a GoFundMe recently
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
cover her husband's legal fees.
Really?
So, yeah,
Wow. That's
Canadians
crazy.
are, yeah, Canadians are reacting to the daughter of Ontario Premier Doug Ford asking for donations to cover the cost of her husband's legal fees in a disciplinary case. So, Krista Ford Haynes, one of
Uh,
Ontario Premier Doug Ford's four daughters,
uh,
has set up a GoFundMe for her husband, Toronto Police Service Staff Sergeant Dave Haynes, who is in the midst of fighting misconduct charges for refusing to adhere to the service's COVID-19 vaccine mandate back in 2021.
right.
Ford and her husband are seeking $100,000 to pay for a lawyer independent of the Toronto Police Association, according to their fundraising page. Um, on Tuesday, so this was recently, this was maybe
Hmm.
just a week or two ago, Ford
Hmm.
Haynes appealed to her 40,000 Instagram followers for help, saying, quote, "This is not usually like me, but in order to get my point across clearly, I think it's best to go off what I wrote." Since the crowdfunding campaign was created 2 days ago, it was raised nearly $16,000 as of the publication of this article. Haynes is expected to appear at his tribunal on February 25th, but his wife says the couple have reservations about the fairness of his upcoming trial.
Hmm.
Quote, "I don't have confidence that he will be given a fair hearing or investigation based on our unique political affiliation, among other bona fide reasons," she wrote in the
Really?
GoFundMe description. I mean, I can maybe understand what she's saying, but at the same time, like, uh, unless someone really truly knows like who he is and his affiliations, because like his name isn't Ford, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like he would potentially get a fair hearing,
Hmm.
but like I don't know what she wants the outcome to be because he's a police or part of the police staff. I don't know if he's a I guess he's I guess he's a cop, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to be adhering to what we all had to adhere to. We all
Hmm.
had to adhere to being vaccinated during that time.
Right,
Um, and he chose not to or refused not to or whatever.
right, right.
Like that's kind of on him at
Hmm.
this point. Like he up. Like that's on him. Like I had
Hmm.
to go get vaccinated even though I didn't want to, but I did. Um, so suck it up, Buttercup. Go and get vaccinated
Right, right,
because
right.
that's what you needed to do at the time. Meanwhile, Ford's followers have been responding to her request for help, saying, quote, "Isn't your father a multimillionaire who could probably, but I do wonder if he wouldn't be allowed to buy her a lawyer or buy him a lawyer because it would seem kind of sketchy.
Sketchy.
Like, yeah, because he'd be using technically what would be probably taxpayers' money.
Hmm.
So he probably couldn't even do that
Hmm.
while he's in office.
I mean, he can use his own money. So
But he gets paid by taxpayers. So even
true.
like
Still.
it would still be his money,
Hmm.
but there would still be some way for people to be like, that's unethical, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
Like somehow they're still going to find a way to say that's unethical. Um, Then another one said, "Isn't her father the premier who is a millionaire out here asking me for money when I have to buy paper for my kid's class after her daddy cut millions from school?"
Mm.
That's very true.
Huh. Interesting.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
so he can't pay his own legal fees though? Like that's kind of crazy. Like,
Well,
is it?
lawyers are expensive.
Mm,
Lawyers are very expensive.
okay.
Yeah. And depending on the kind of lawyer you need,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, it's like I said before in the past, our retainer fee is like $10,000,
That's
depending on what it is. Like if you're looking for a med mal, you're looking at $10,000 retainer fee. Yeah.
mm-hmm. That's pretty.
Um, yeah,
Uh,
like my my boss, depending on what he's doing for, you could be coughing up $5,000 to $7,000 in retainer fee. That's at one shot. That doesn't even
mm,
that doesn't even amount to we might ask you for more if we need more.
mm-hmm.
So it's not cheap.
Okay. Oh wow. I didn't know that. I thought it was like, a small. Well, it depending on the
No.
case too. Depend on the case. Like I understand if it's like a trial,
Well,
yeah.
no, because again, with trials,
Mm-hmm.
trials are most likely going to be over and beyond anything that you're giving because a trial from start to finish, you're looking at a good, easily $100,000
Right.
for us
Mm-hmm.
to work on that file, if not more. So trials is over and beyond that. That is just the day-to-day stuff that we'll need to do on a file from beginning of litigation or beginning of whatever it is to the point of going to trial. Most files, I'm going to probably just say this right now, but 95% of files don't go to trial. They always settle before trial. About 95% of files.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, no, it's not cheap. Like my divorce was $1,500. Um, but that was because it was a simple divorce. And like if there
Mm-hmm.
was more involved in that, it probably would have cost more. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I know like when I first got the quote is 1,500. In the space of a few months, they wanted me to give them
Mm-hmm.
$2,500 to do my divorce. So it's not cheap. Nothing you do in law is cheap. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Um, anyway, nonetheless, others came out in support of the
Mm-hmm.
couple, saying, quote, "I love you guys and I'm in tears. You have walked alongside so many of us. It's time for us to be gracious to you. We support you and Dave indefinitely. What can we do to help?" Another one said. Haynes
Mm-hmm.
is a 22-year veteran of the Toronto Police and is facing allegations of discreditable conduct, insubordination, and breach of confidence, according to reports. During the pandemic, TPS mandated that any officer not vaccinated by November 31st, 2021 would be put on indefinite unpaid leave. According to Fort Haynes, she and her husband have been blocked from publicly discussing his charges until his tribunal, but were offered a deal by the police service, the terms
Mm-hmm.
of which were not clearly stated by the couple, probably can't. The negotiations from the service unfortunately include my husband dropping a very serious grievance that addresses serious systematic supervisory concerns, she wrote. Because of this, we have tried to seek outside counsel, but it has been denied to be financially supported by his association, despite paying his association dues for 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
According to the Toronto Star, Haynes is not currently suspended and has been assigned to the Toronto Police College. The Star added that the Toronto Police Association members are free to seek their own legal counsel, and the
Mm-hmm.
police union typically provides lawyers to members who face misconduct allegations. Both Ford Haynes and her husband have expressed anti vaccination views in the past. During the pandemic, they took to social media to question the validity. I'm fine. of lockdown mandates and the rollout of vaccines. Validity, I should say. Yeah, there we go. Question the validity of lockdown mandates and the rollout of vaccines. But these lockdowns were put in place by your dad. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just confused by you, ma'am. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Um, Her recent posts allude to these views playing a role in the couple's legal predicament. Quote, in the last 4 years, my husband has been sent home on unpaid leave for 7 months for asking for more information about the efficiency of a vaccine being forced upon its members and what has turned out to be the most grotesque medical overstepping we've seen in our lifetime thus far, the fundraising post says, which I mean, I don't disagree, but at the same time, we all had to do it. So, like, I just don't know what to say besides just like, I mean, again, like, if you have concerns about the vaccine, which I think are legitimate, I also had concerns about the vaccine. But unfortunately, at the time, maybe even now, to be totally honest, you're not going to have a medical professional tell you yay or nay to doing the vaccine. They're just going to say,
Yeah.
do it
Yeah.
because they had to. By law, they had to. They could not talk ill
Yeah.
of the vaccine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah. That's true. They couldn't talk ill will about the vaccine at all because if they did, they would have caused some type of trouble, I believe.
they would have lost the license.
Yeah.
Straight up, they
Yeah.
would have lost their license.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Let's move on to the next topic. Now, this topic is going to be fun. This is fun for me,
Hmm.
anyways, that I
Hmm.
definitely want to talk about. Um, so I have multiple different articles, but this is all for one topic. So we've talked before in the past about the Scream movie coming out, which I
Yeah.
think is slated for next year. And they've been talking about people being added to the cast.
Hmm.
Some of this is I'm freaking out.
Hmm.
So let's just do this. So first person that was added to the cast was Mark Consuelos, which I'm actually kind of cool. This is cool. I don't know. Do you know who Mark Consuelos is?
No.
Okay. Do you know Kelly Ripa? Kelly Ripa? You know Kelly Ripa?
No, no, I don't know who that is. No, no.
Okay. Did you
Yeah.
ever watch Riverdale?
N No, I never watched
No?
Riverdale. Oh,
Okay,
no.
then I can't help you.
Okay.
I've been a fan of Mark Consuelos since All My Children days because he used to be on All My Children with Kelly Ripa, who is she's on Live with originally Regis and Kelly, and now it's just Kelly and whoever else is there now. Um, so they used to be on All My Children because my grandma used to watch All My Children. So that's the first time I ever saw Mark Consuelos. But anyways, Mark Consuelos, he's been added to the cast, which I think is really, really cool. Um, yeah, it says it's supposed to be coming out on February 27th, it says. So yeah, they actually added here too. That he was on Riverdale, All My Children, live with Kelly and Mark. Yeah, which is his wife. Um, so yeah, that's the first person that's been added to the cast.
Mhm.
Let's move on to the next person that's been added to the cast. I don't know
Mhm.
what they're doing with this movie.
Mhm.
I really don't. But whatever it is, I don't care if it's bad. I don't
Mhm.
care because this is freaking incredible. Scott Foley has also been added to the cast. Now, do you know who Scott Foley is?
Scott Foley.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay. So you never watched them past the first movie, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I would believe I haven't
Okay.
watched this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, a Scott Foley, for anyone who knows from a different thing besides Cream, he was on Scandal. He was on
Mhm.
Scandal as well. Um, but Scott Foley was, spoiler alert for anyone who doesn't know the movies,
Mhm.
he was in the third movie and he was the ghost face in the third movie.
Mm.
He was supposed to be the half brother of Cindy.
Right.
So He's the half brother. He was supposed to be Maureen Prescott's son. I won't get
Mhm,
into all of that, but he was supposed to be the half brother of he dies in the third movie.
mhm.
He's literally shot in the head. Dewey
Oh,
shoots him
wow.
in the head. So
Wow.
he's rumored to be coming back to this movie. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know, but I'm here for it.
Mhm,
The next person
mhm, mhm,
added to the movie,
mhm. What? Who?
Matthew Lillard. I'm freaking.
I heard about Matthew Lillard. I heard of him. Yeah.
What did I say? Stu's not dead. Just dead. They're bringing him back, and I'm freaking out.
Is this a good thing or is it a
I,
bad thing? Because
it's good for me.
mhm.
I don't know about anybody else, but it makes me wonder like what they're doing because it looks like um some of the ghost face are coming back.
So the original cast from the first one, right? Is that right? Or is
He's
it
from the
just
first one,
okay? Yeah, that's
right? He's Stu Macher.
yeah.
He's the one that had the TV fall on his head.
Okay.
Right,
Right.
right. So like I said, I don't know what they're doing
Mm-hmm.
with this movie right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They've talked about two Ghostface coming back. I heard Patrick Dempsey is coming back. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he's not a ghost face. He's not a ghost face. He is in the third movie as well. He was a cop in the third movie. Um, so I'm hearing rumors that he's coming back. I've been hearing
Mm-hmm.
that for a bit, but that seems to have been um confirmed that he's coming back.
Mm.
I think I heard a rumor that Emma Roberts,
Right.
who is in the fourth movie, she's the ghost face in the fourth movie. She's supposed to be related to Sidney Prescott, but she dies as well
Oh
in
wow.
the fourth movie. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Courtney Cox's character kills her in the movie. Actually, no, wait, sorry. It wasn't, was it Courtney Cox? No, it was Sidney killed her, sorry. Um, so she gets like shot. I think she was shot in the head too.
Really.
Hmm. Yeah, I think she was shot in the head too. So it's like we're hearing the rumblings of these ghost face coming back that
Hmm.
are connected to Cindy because they're not going to bring back the others because
Mm-hmm.
those were connected to the other casts.
Mm-hmm.
Although I did hear that the twin, again, I know you didn't watch past the first movie, but I did hear in the reboots, if you
Uh-huh.
remember the twins
Uh-huh.
who are supposed to be related to Randy. They're supposed to be Randy's niece and nephew. The son, the guy, I can't
Uh-huh.
remember his real name. He's apparently supposed to be coming back as well. So I've heard he's supposed to be coming back. So um, I don't know what they're doing with this movie. It's hearing about the ghost face. That's
Mhm.
hmm, that's crazy to me. It really makes me wonder like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Um, So I do have this other article that's going to kind of talk about the people coming back and kind of what we're going to kind of see here. So the seventh installment of the beloved horror franchise will be released in theaters on February 27th and it's being directed by Kevin Williamson, who is the writer. He's the one who wrote Scream. So he's directing at this time. So it's kind of cool.
Mm.
Um, well, he wrote this script for the original movie. The project will include the highly anticipated return of many familiar faces, including Courtney Cox, Matthew Lillard, Scott Foley, and Neve Campbell, the latter of whom starred in the original 1996 Scream and all its sequels, except for six, as we know.
Mm.
Um, Reflecting on her return, she told People in June, that she was really grateful to have been asked to come back in a respectful way, meaning she got money, y'all. Those movies have been such a big part of my life and it means so much to me. And I was sad to miss the last one, to not be a part of it. I'm grateful to be able to step into Sydney's shoes again and tell her story. So while Scream 7 marks the return of many fan favorites, the project also lost a few key characters during pre-production. So we know Melissa Barrera was originally set to reprise her role as Sam
Mm.
Carpenter from 2022 Scream in 2023 until it was announced in November of 2023 that she was removed from the cast due to her social media posts about the Israel-Hamas war, which I mean people stay out of it. Just stay out of it. Um so one day later, Deadline reported that her on-screen sister Jenna Ortega would also not be returning as Tara, citing scheduling conflicts with other projects. So
Mm.
here's what we know. So yes, Nev is coming back. We already know this. Courtney Cox is coming back.
Mm.
Mason Gooding, who I was talking about in the more recent Screams, that's who that is. He is coming
Right.
back as Chad Meeks Martin. So that's who he's coming back. Um, oh, and Jasmine Savoy Brown, who plays his sister. She's also coming back as well, which is kind of cool.
Mhm. Okay.
Matthew Lillard, as discussed. Hmm. Um, Scott Foley, as discussed. I just discussed that. Joe McHale as Mark Evans, who is supposed to be Cindy's, I think, husband. So he's gonna be here. Mark Consuelos, as mentioned. Isabel May, bless you. Isabel May as Cindy Prescott's daughter. Um, Celeste O'Connor. She's a new one. Don't know much about her, so she's gonna be. Um, she's worked alongside Dakota Johnson. And Madam Web, which I heard was horrible.
Yeah, that movie was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, anyway, Asa, I think it's German. I
Hmm.
think he's new.
Hmm.
Don't know much about what he's gonna be doing. Um, McKenna. Oh, McKenna Grace. Do you know who McKenna Grace is?
Never heard of him.
McKenna's a girl. Um,
Oh, my bad. Never heard of her.
okay, well, she's been in a lot of different things. Um, but she's a newcomer. She has been uh sorry, I'm trying to figure out where she's been. Ghostbusters. Um, she's been in The Gifted, but I think I saw that one. I think I saw that show. Um, and she was also in The Handmaid's Tale as well. Um, Sam Rechner, he looks familiar. But anyways, he's gonna be on there. And Anna Camp. Isn't she on Pitch Perfect? Yeah, she's in Pitch Perfect. Yes, everyone who wants she's in Pitch Perfect. Um, so yes, that's kind of who we're seeing so far. Um, I don't like again, I don't know what they're doing because especially because they're bringing back Ghostface that are supposed to be dead.
Hmm.
I mean, especially Scott Foley. I mean, like I said, he was shot in the head. So like I just don't know what their plan is and what they're doing here. But I don't care because Matthew Lillard is coming back. I just all I care about right now. As soon as I saw Matthew Lillard, I'm like, you're kidding. Ah, ooh, okay. Because he definitely said, like, listen, if they want me back, I'll come back. And then it was like maybe a month or two after I heard that, I'm like, oh my God, he's coming back. Like it's happening. It's
Hmm.
happening.
Hmm.
Oh my God. Don't walk, run to see Scream. Okay. But that's basically that.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the tariffs real quick?
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think as we know, as Canadians right now, the tariffs have happened. Um, they officially, I think we're on Tuesday. We're recording this. Um, this a few days after it's happened.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's happened. Um, so yeah, we kind of discussed this before. 25% levies on US imports. Um, and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said on Saturday, warning Americans that Trump's actions would have real consequences for them. I hope, but anyways, as relations between the longtime allies who share the world's longest land border reach a new low, Trudeau told a news conference he was slapping tariffs on um, $150 billion Canadian of US goods. Those on $30 billion Canadian will take effect on Tuesday, the same day as Trump's tariffs and duties on the remaining $125 million in 21 days. So that hasn't happened yet.
Hmm.
Trudeau's announcement came just hours after Trump ordered 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican imports and 10% on goods from China, risking a trade war that economics say could slow global growth and reignite inflation. Trump said he would impose 10% tariff on all energy imports from Canada. The Canadian leader said tariffs would include American beer, wine, and bourbon, as well as fruits and fruit juices, including orange juice from Trump's home state of Florida. Oh, figure. This is why he is the way he is. He's Floridian. This is why. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Floridians. This is why.
Hmm.
Okay.
Wow.
Canada would
Yeah.
also target goods including clothing, sports equipment, and household appliances.
From the US, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Trudeau said the coming weeks would be difficult for Canadians, but that Americans would also suffer from Trump's actions. Quote, tariffs against Canada will put your jobs at risk, potentially shutting down American auto assembly plants and other manufacturing facilities. Trudeau said addressing U.S. citizens during a press conference in Ottawa. They will raise costs for you, including food at the grocery store and gas at the pump. Canada is considering non-tariff measures potentially relating to critical minerals, energy procurement, and other partnerships.
Mm.
The 9,000-kilometer U.S.-Canada border handles over $2.5 billion in trade a day, especially in energy and manufacturing, according to Canadian government data from 2023. In 2023, Canada exported close to $550 billion worth of goods and services to the US, or more
Hmm.
than three-fourths of its total exports. Energy accounted for 30% and manufacturing contributed around 15% to exports south
Mm.
of the border. Exports to the US accounts for roughly 17.8% of
Hmm.
Canadian gross domestic product and more than 2.4 million jobs in Canada. The tariffs hit Canada as it deals with a political crisis and a
Hmm.
leadership race within the Trudeau Liberal Party, as we know. Facing low approval ratings, Trudeau has said he will resign after 9 years in office. We've talked about that, so we don't have to go through that again. But yeah, so that's kind of what's happening there.
Yeah.
And this apparently is also affecting what you can also buy at LCBO.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, I don't really,
You don't really drink.
yeah, I don't really dream about
Right.
like, basically, I don't
Yeah.
care about that. I'm more care about like the sporting goods, all that stuff, like, and other things other than, alcohol. So,
Yeah, for you
and
though, but for listeners who potentially do drink,
yeah.
yeah, LCBO is halting US liquor sales to all stores, restaurants, and grocers and bars.
So
So
that means they can't buy anything US here or
anything that's made in the US, You can't get that here
Mm.
right now.
Okay. All right.
There
Okay.
are alternatives that you can definitely search up and find. There are alternatives
Mm-hmm.
that is Canadian,
Mm-hmm.
but or Ontarian, but yeah, it's not gonna be happening
Okay.
for yeah.
Well, they did put a pause on it for like 30 days. So like basically it's gonna we'll see what happens. Yeah, so we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah.
Mm.
I did find that other article, so we'll just end it off with that one.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, like I said, it seemed fitting to talk about this person because we talked about her last year during um Black History Month as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
That counselor in Pickering, um, she's still in deep water a year later. Like it hasn't ended for her, and I think that's appropriate. Um, so the mayor in Pickering says a counselor is facing a second consecutive 90-day pay suspension, and allegations against her have been referred to police after he announced the municipal council would move its meetings online over alleged threats from her supporters.
Mm.
The conflict in Pickering began more than a year ago, if anyone needs that reminder, over complaints about Councillor Lisa Robinson's social media posts, which the Integrity Commissioner described as unacceptable. That's one word to use, and potentially harmful to marginalized communities. The escalating back and forth that has followed, including Robinson's repeated appearances on right wing media platforms and the city's own lengthy video posted online earlier this week, well, this would have been about a month ago, has come to engulf local politics in the city east of Toronto in good old Pickering. Mayor Kevin Ash said in an interview that the Integrity Commissioner brought police a complaint that Robinson may be aiding and abetting criminal harassment with her participation in far-right media.
Mm.
Like, this woman needs help. The commissioner's office said in an email that it has suspended its own inquiry into the complaint, quote, until any resulting police investigation and if laid, any resulting charge has been finally disposed of. The Durham Regional Police Service and it said it is aware of these issues, and the investigation has been turned over to Ontario Provincial Police. OPP did not immediately respond to questions. Robertson, who was elected in 2022, has previously denied allegations against her. She could not be reached for comment for
Mm.
this article.
Mm.
Ash alleged that Robinson supporters have been trespassing and piping up with overblown rhetoric at a city council meeting or at city council meetings. He said the city has had to double the police presence at the council chamber and pay for private security at recent in-person meetings from which council members have had to be escorted to their cars. This is nuts. Council meetings were already due to be held online later this year because of renovations in the chamber, he said, but city officials decided to move online sooner. Quote, when people don't feel safe coming to their council chamber and when people don't follow the code of conduct, that diminishes democracy. I never thought we'd be here, but we are because this woman's nuts. And I rather that part. In a video posted by the city this week, Ash said the decision to stop holding council meetings in person was not made lightly. The heavily produced video is 13 minutes long. It features clips from Robinson's appearance on a right wing podcast in which host Kevin J. Johnson calls Pickering city councilors pedophiles and Nazis.
What?
Yep.
That's wow.
Yep.
Okay.
They're the Nazis. The people who are on the right side of things, they're the Nazis. But you right wing people, you're good. Okay. Unreal. Saying they, quote, deserve a oh, they deserve a baseball bat to the face. This is what this guy is saying in the podcast. Jesus. Robinson had previously denounced the host's comments and apologized to her colleagues. All you do is apologize for things that you are involved in. Like, when do you just, I don't know, stop?
Hmm.
Um, To a backdrop of dramatic music, the video also includes threatening voicemails council members received from unidentified callers, and its unnamed narrator alleges that Robinson held an unsanctioned town hall meeting in September that banned city staff, featured alt-right materials,
Hmm.
and was run by outsiders with unknown intentions. Ash said the video was created in-house by the city's communications department at no extra cost to taxpayers. He added they decided to produce it after the last in-person meeting on December 16th, at which Robinson's five fellow councilors approved her latest pay suspension over public comments accusing the city's chief administrative officer of corruption. Quote, we made a determination that we wanted to respond to the false allegations of corruption. This was said by Ash. In a social media post on, this would have been again a month ago, Robinson accused the mayor and the city of resorting to bullying tactics, right, calling the video absolutely pathetic and laughable propaganda.
Hmm.
Robinson's December pay suspension marked the fourth time Robinson has been handed a penalty for breaching the code of conduct, including for comments criticizing Black History Month,
Mhm.
LGBTQ plus advocacy, and city officials. So she didn't just attack Black people, y'all. She also went after the LGBTQ plus community.
Oh wow.
She's horrible. She is your counselor, not mine.
Mhm.
She received 30-day and 60-day pay suspensions on separate occasions in 2023, reacting to the first by calling herself a modern day slave.
Okay. Yeah, I
Oh,
remember.
you poor white blonde haired
I remember.
bitch. You're the slave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember we talked
We
about
did
this.
talk about
Yeah.
this, yeah.
Mhm.
It's just laughable to hear
Yeah.
a white blonde-haired woman
Mhm.
refer to herself as a modern day slave.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Yeah.
But anyways, her first 90-day pay suspension, the harshest possible penalty under current rules, came in September. Ash said the city has spent more than $100,000 on integrity commissioner fees, added security, and legal costs related to Robinson. He said he and other council members have been petitioning the provincial government to pass a bill that would allow the removal of a councillor from office under the Municipal Act. The bill Municipal Affairs Minister Paul Calandra introduced last month would allow for the creation of a standard code of conduct for all municipalities and penalties of removing and disqualifying a member of office if they are in serious violation of the code.
Mhm.
The government has said the removal and disqualification could only happen if the Municipal Integrity Commissioner recommends it, if Ontario's Integrity Commissioner agrees, and if councillors accept for the member in question unanimously agree to it in a vote. So you can't just fire somebody in council. Like, there's a process,
Mhm.
unfortunately. Ash said he's thankful that the government is taking action, but even if the bill passes and becomes law, it wouldn't come into effect in Pickering until the city's next election in October of 2026.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
Robinson told the Canadian press last September that, quote, if the constitutes
Constitution.
constituents
Oh, okay.
constituents, there we
Oh,
go,
okay.
don't like what I have to say or how I'm representing them, then the decision will be up to them during the next election. Ash nicknamed her Double Down Lisa on Friday. Okay.
Mhm.
She's doubling down. Never in my wildest dreams would I think the counselor, who would be sanctioned on four different occasions for 15 breaches of code, would not show any level of remorse, regret, or even some looking in the mirror and saying, maybe I'm the problem. It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. That's all we
Mhm.
want from her at this point in time. Um,
Yeah.
so yes, this report, if anyone's interested, was first published on January 3rd, so very recently.
Hmm.
very recently. But yeah, that is the article that I was looking for before. And I was like,
Okay.
what is it?
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Wow. Wow. So hopefully we get an update from her.
Or not. Or
Checking in,
not.
checking in the hospital or something like that, or
A
checking.
mental institution, my God.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have
Okay.
anything you want to add before we
Uh,
close out?
no, I have nothing to add. It's on that specific topic. So it's yeah. Okay. So this ends the Next Tape podcast. The Next Tape podcast is available now on all podcast platforms. We also have a website called Tanyka.
I think it's next take podcast.podpage.io.
Okay. And where else are we at, Tanika?
Facebook and Instagram at Next Take Podcast, and Twitter and TikTok at Next Take Pod.
It's so you can also contact us on our email at mikeltanika@gmail.com. That is mikeltanika@gmail.com. So we talked about a bunch of topics today. We talked about Scream. We talked about the Terrace. We also talked about what else? What else we talked about? We talked about
Well, the
the
counselor.
counselor.
Um,
Yes.
and what was the first one we talked about? I can't remember what the first topic was because that was a long time ago now. Feels
Yeah.
like, but
Yeah.
yeah, we had
Yeah.
four different topics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Four different topics. If you guys want to rewind this episode, you can, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. So that's basically it. You want to say anything else to Nick, or that's it?
No, I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm Mikel, and
And I'm Tanyka.
we're out until
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah, we're back tomorrow.
See you guys. See you guys
Okay.
then.
All right. Bye.
Bye.